Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly astrology and pick a card reading. This is for the 31st of January through to the 6th of February 2022. This week with the astrology, there's a few things going on. We have a new moon in Aquarius, so that's going to happen at 12 degrees of Aquarius. If you know your chart, look at anything that you have around, roughly around 12 degrees or either side of 12 degrees to see how the new moon might be influencing you. With regards to Aquarius, the new moon can be things to do with new ideas, new insights, a sense of some kind of new beginning, because the new moon's always to do with new beginnings, but also it is related to setting intentions, and Aquarius is a very futuristic sign as well. So setting intentions for your future, thinking about what you want in your future, and also tuning in, because Aquarius is having that connection to the divine in a sort of higher self kind of way, where you kind of have that direct line to spirit. And you know, Pisces is also about that, but Aquarius is about receiving downloads directly from your guides. So this is a time when you can receive that kind of energy. And you know, it's quite a positive new moon just in general. It is a little bit close to Saturn, so with that, it's, you know, it's to do with your reality as well. So Aquarius is a sign that is ruled by Uranus, the planet of unpredictability and change. But Saturn is more, you know, it co-rules Aquarius, and it also is the ruler of Capricorn. But with Saturn here involved, you know, in this kind of dual way, with it being conjunct the new moon and also a co-ruler of Aquarius, we have this influence of Saturn. And Saturn is about our reality, and Saturn is about doorways and portals and thresholds. So crossing over to a new threshold, crossing over a boundary, opening up a new door, closing an old door. So I feel with this new moon it's quite important because of that connection with Saturn there. It can signify change in that sense, and in a positive way though. So sometimes when we need to go towards something new, we have to let go of something old, and that's very much what I'm feeling here. It can be a bit of a nervous kind of energy this week, or some kind of maybe even some fears coming up a little bit because of the Saturn involvement here with the new moon. And it's almost like with Saturn, it gets us to look at what we're avoiding or what our fears are, so that we can actually evolve. And Aquarius is a planet, or sorry, a sign, not a planet, a sign that's related to evolution. So when it comes to Aquarian energy, we know we have to change because we need to grow, and our soul is urging us to grow. So, you know, sometimes when Saturn's involved, it can indicate gradual change as well, which is a good thing. It's not always as sudden as if, you know, you have other influences. But that said, you know, Uranus is also square this new moon, so that can be a bit uncomfortable and can be feeling a bit edgy. So if there's something you've got going on this week that's some kind of new beginning, there can be some nerves around it, some fear around it, or some tension or stress around it. Some kind of adjustments needing to be made with the Uranus square the new moon. But overall, even despite the aspects from Uranus and Saturn, I still feel this is a positive new moon, because it is helping us to go towards a change that we need to make on a soul level. Okay, so the other stuff this week is, now we have, since last week, Venus is direct. Great news for anyone that's Venus ruled. So whether, you know, also you have a sun, moon, or rising ruled by Venus, which would be Libra or Taurus. Or, you know, obviously if your chart is heavily Venus influenced, like mine is myself. So this is very important for clarity around relationships. Now, it is in the sign still of Capricorn. Venus is in Capricorn as it goes direct, or as it just went direct from last week. And so this is about, again, reality. You know, Saturn rules Capricorn, which is about how do these relationships work with my reality, and also work with helping me to progress, because Capricorn is a sign that is interested in progress, and in a practical way, and also in a way related to ambitions, career, new directions going forward. So if, you know, there's a relationship in your life that you can see has a practical application in some way, you know, you're going to be more feeling an affinity towards that. And if you have anything around 11 degrees of an earth sign in your chart, of any of the earth signs, the Venus direct, you know, around the 11 degrees this week will be quite good for you. And Venus direct also brings about that clarity around relationships and finances. So what do I need to do to go forward? Again, Capricorn's a slow and steady sign like Taurus. It's not rushing anything. it's like, okay, one step at a time, you know, we'll get there, we'll climb that mountain, you know, it's the goat going up the mountain with Capricorn. So yeah. But Venus direct is good. We can sort of finally feel this energy like, okay, so whatever happened in the last few weeks that you may have need to let go of, or realize was not for your best self, then you might be moving forward from that. Or, you know, you may have been looking at your financial situation, because as I've said before many times, Venus rules relationships and finances. Also, on the 4th of Feb, we have Mercury going direct in, it went back to Capricorn in its retrograde cycle, so it's up to 24 degrees of Capricorn on the direct now. So this is good. Obviously, you know, the retrogrades have their purpose, and now it's direct, so there's a bit more clarity because we have Venus and Mercury direct now, so from this week. So it's going to bring a bit more clarity and stability to the mind, which is good. Practical focus in Capricorn. The Sun from the 3rd to the 5th of February is going to be conjunct with Saturn. So the Sun in Aquarius conjunct with Saturn can be a bit of a dampening down of one's energy. You might feel a bit more tired in some way this week because of this, especially between the 3rd and the 5th. And just make sure this is, it's recording. Okay, I sometimes need to check that because sometimes my camera on the occasion plays up. But this is, you know, it feels a little bit serious or a bit nerve-wracking or a bit tense, and especially with the new moon and all the angles. So I would say, you know, this is a week to sort of take a deep breath and like meditate, or, you know, get out in nature just to get grounded, because there's a lot of energy that could feel just a little bit ungrounding with that new moon and the Sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. There could be things going on this week that feel a little bit sort of tense or stressful, or some kind of pressure energy. That's what I'm seeing there potentially. Mostly affecting people that have anything around, I think, let me just double check, I think it's 11 degrees of Aquarius, but I'll just quickly check what degrees for those that know their chart. Okay, so the Sun is up to, yeah, around 11, between 11 and say 15 degrees of Aquarius. If you have anything in those degrees actually of any fixed signs this week, so Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, you're going to feel that as some kind of tension this week, so just be aware of that. Also, I want to mention something for next week, and depending where you are in the world, you may be starting to see this visible in the sky just before sunrise, the Mars-Venus conjunction. So it's really interesting because I've noticed something pretty special happening starting from around Valentine's Day, from February 11th all the way through to around the 12th or so of March. Venus and Mars will be conjunct in the sky, and that can be seen as like a really bright, looks like a really bright star with the naked eye. So something that I just noticed, and I thought I'd mention that. So if you are awake at 5 a.m. and you look out, you see this bright star, it's a Venus-Mars conjunction in the sky, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's get to the cards. As always, you know, I'm going to do, let me see, this week I might do the air signs first, since the new moon is in Aquarius, then the water signs, earth and fire, which is kind of how I usually do it, I think. Just letting you know, if you'd like to book a reading, right now my shop is closed. I had to close it because I was just getting bombarded with orders, and, you know, I just have to be able to keep up with everything, obviously. So I already have a turnaround time of around 2 weeks-ish, and, you know, I don't want to have to keep extending the turnaround time to 3 weeks. I might have to do that at some point, but it's a lot. So I'm going to open it back up in a few days. I don't know, I was thinking maybe tomorrow, but I'll see how I go. It depends how much work I get through. So the link is below if you want to book. But also, you know, if you want to book but it's closed, just sign up with your email on the front of my storefront, and you'll get a notification to say when I have reopened the shop. All right, guys, so let's look at the energy for the air signs. All right, so this is for Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What's happening this week? Page of Wands. Okay, so some kind of new beginning energy, some kind of passionate energy around the air signs. Oh, how about that? Well, we have Sun in Libra, harmony. Interesting, because they're saying some kind of passionate energy. We have this beautiful romantic energy with the air signs. It's quite nice. So it's the harmony card. So it shows that there's some kind of love energy around the air signs. New relationship or some kind of new love energy, or even something about twin flames could be for some. But it's harmony. So if there's been problems in relationships for you guys recently, for the air signs, this is saying you're working towards harmony. Something here, I'm just seeing where I feel the vibe. It's this one. First light, beginning a new cycle. Wow. So the air signs, you guys might be at the beginning of something new here with the Page of Wands, Page of Rods in this deck. This is the Unicorn deck, by the way. This new beginning energy, harmony to do with love and relationships. There's some kind of new energy around love. You know, I'm hearing self-love as well. So don't forget to love yourself in the midst of all, you know, this energy. You know, it's something that we all have, especially if you have had, I was talking to a friend recently who is also an air sign. And we were talking about how, you know, especially if you've had trauma growing up and, you know, you were criticized or you weren't, you know, encouraged and things like that. You know, a lot of people have been through things like that, and it can be harder to love yourself. It can feel like this abstract concept, like, how do I actually do that? You know, and it's about spending time with yourself and going within yourself as well and making time for that. So let's look at what the Astro Dice have to say. North Node, 11th house of friends, groups, and Scorpio. Scorpio is about, oh gosh, where did it go? There it is. Scorpio is about deeper emotions and deep connections. And the 11th house is Aquarius energy, which is interesting because that sort of makes you think of the new moon in Aquarius, which is going to be for the air, well, for all the air signs, you know, its influence will be felt, but particularly if you're an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, you're going to feel this new moon quite strongly. The 11th house, as I said, it's the Aquarius house. It can relate to friends, connections, groups, online groups, any kind of groups that you're connected with, also dealing with astrology as well. The North Node is about being pulled towards something new for yourself at this time. And this relates with this card and this card, which is about new beginnings, the beginning of a new cycle. So I think those messages are very strong in regards to, you know, this energy of a new cycle to do with love, romance, relationship dynamics. So even if you are in a relationship, this can indicate, you know, you are looking at some kind of new beginning within the context of the relationship. It's some kind of end of an old cycle. You know, if you're in a relationship, you might be looking at going to a new level or having a family or, you know, relocating together or buying your first home or, you know, something like that that's related to a new beginning that you feel passionate about. If you're not in a relationship, it can be that there's a new energy coming in really soon and you might even be feeling it or having dreams about it this week or talking to someone this week or having some kind of breakthrough with regards to a connection as well this week. All right, so let's go to the water signs. So this is for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This one's jumping out. The Emperor. Ooh, that's a strong card. Aries energy. But also the Emperor is so much about taking charge of your life and, you know, pushing yourself to go to a new level. Like, obviously when I say pushing yourself, not overly pushing yourself, but knowing within yourself, you know, I have to step up in some way in my life. That's what the Emperor is about. And it is Aries energy, so it's about initiating things. It's about not always letting yourself just kind of flow too much all the time. It's, see, this is related to your growth, your spiritual growth, and Sagittarius, which is about your knowledge, teaching and learning, embarking on new things like new studies, new level of understanding. It says success after a setback. Wow. So see, it's saying that you are taking the reins of your own life now with the Emperor card. And the Sagittarius card is saying there's all this growth that's waiting for you. You know, it's beautiful and it's going to expand your mind. Could even be travel involved. It's interesting because this Emperor card actually reminds me a little bit of the Justice card for some reason. So I keep thinking the Justice card. And I just feel a very positive energy with this. Obviously, Sagittarius is a hugely positive sign. It's about positivity. It's about seeing the positive potential in life rather than focusing on the negative. And this is very fiery energy since we have Aries and Sag. So fire is about action and it's about initiating, but it's also about trusting your intuition, water signs, when going forward with your new directions and going with your, it's like a combination of gut instinct and luck coming together is what I'm feeling here. So it's really great. This is, I feel, really beautiful energy, but don't forget to, you know, make sure that you are, you know, when the energy's there for it, you're taking action, rather than sort of avoiding putting yourself in that position it's almost like the spotlight, choosing your path. All is possible. That is so relevant to this card, Sagittarius. Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, the expansive planet of potentiality, of possibility, of going further than you thought was possible. That's what Sagittarius is about. It's also about instinct and trust and luck, as I said. But this is reminding you that there's so much more possible than maybe what you're letting yourself believe, or that, you know, there could be some limitations that you're coming up against perhaps in your mind in some way. And it's saying, you know, trust that you're being called to go on a new path that is going to be very exciting for you. So that's really nice. I love that. Let's look what the astro dice say for the water signs. Mercury, second house, Sagittarius. That's crazy, guys. Sagittarius came up twice here. So definitely something about learning or travel, or both, okay? And spiritual growth at the same time. Mercury in the second house, this can be about communication related to financial gain and earning money through your communication, through Mercury related interactions. Second house is money you earn. It's also about bringing value to others through the way you communicate your mind and your knowledge, and this is connected to finances. So there could be also for some of you some luck with money this week, so you could get some extra money. Obviously not everyone, but some of you guys, some of the water signs. And it's also positive communications and breakthrough communications this week. Sorry, my throat. Interesting, I said that because the second house rules the throat in Sagittarius. Not Sagittarius, Taurus, I meant to say. Yep. So lots of energy here. There's a new energy here of embarking on some kind of new project, new business idea, new direction, new inspiration, something along those lines. That's really, really positive for you. And you need to trust this process that you're in, and trust your intuition as you're being pulled along. It's quite a journey, it feels like. You know, this feels like something big. Like, it feels like it's just starting, and you may not know where this is going to take you, this new idea, this new connection, this new direction. But definitely keep your mind open. And I would say this is about not falling back into old patterns. With this Aries energy, it's about new beginning, choosing a new path. Sagittarius is spirituality, philosophy, learning, teaching, studying, travel, all that kind of good stuff, and positivity and having faith. That's huge. Wow, amazing messages for the water signs. Okay, let's move on to the earth signs. Okay, so Taurians, Virgos and Capricorns. We have the Scorpio energy popping out. Regeneration. It says, stand firm in the eye of the storm. Whew, that's a lot of energy right there. All right, so gosh, that's so intense. I feel that. Usually, like, if I look at this card, I'm like, okay, yeah, but it feels extra intense for some reason when I look at this for the earth sign. So Scorpio is your opposite sign. So in the solar astrology, it'd be a relationship sector. So it could be about intense connection with someone in relationships for the earth signs, a deep connection, you know, maybe an 8th house connection, or where you've got really intense magnetic draw to somebody, or dealing with Scorpio type people. Courage, yeah. So the earth signs are being told, be courageous, take action with passion. So believe in your, you know, have faith in what you're doing here and what your connection is with another person, or with regards to something that you're really passionate about. Keep going forward. And what I am getting though is, yes, you might be facing some fears, because Scorpio can be about overcoming fears. You know, when you have strong Scorpio in your chart, in your life, even though I'm talking to the air signs, you know, we all have Scorpio somewhere in our chart, right? So wherever you have Scorpio in your chart, earth signs, there could be something about overcoming fears, you know. So if it's your rising sign, it's to do with your path and your life pulling you forward, and possibly fear of change can be a bit of that. And especially, you know, Taurians, we love our comfort zones, we love what feels like our routine, you know, but obviously you have other things in your chart where you're being pulled to grow, right? So and even Capricorns love the status quo. They love, you know, to feel in control. And so this is saying, you know, there's some kind of change going on that's quite deep and psychological and emotional and spiritual and intimate potentially, and it's like, it's going to take some courage here, but you're being encouraged to have courage. Earth signs, that's what I'm saying there. All right, let's go to the tarot card to go with it, and the astro dice. Indecision, the 2 of swords, being in two minds about it. So yeah, what I'm getting here, your deeper instinct is pulling you forward, but your mind, your logic is kind of getting in the mix here and kind of throwing a bit of a spanner in the works. Your logic is kind of like throwing you off a bit. The mind can do that. The mind can be pulled in all sorts of directions, but the gut instinct and the deeper instinctive part of the self always knows. But again, there's something about fear, facing fears and overcoming fears in order to move forward here with these energies. 7th house of relationships. Yep, I felt it. Okay, Saturn in the 7th house is like the reality of a connection could be daunting. Aquarius could be, for some people, it could be long distance relationship. It could be someone, you know, far away. With the Saturn Aquarius, there's kind of a distant energy with it, and a reality to it as well, though, but a test at the same time. For some people, this can be, for some of the earth signs, this can be letting go of a friendship because of the Aquarius, which is to do with friendships. Saturn, which is reality, a dose of reality, and like looking at things really clearly. 7th house is of significant people in your life. It could be that for some people there's an issue with a friend this week, or it could be like a parent, because Saturn is elders and authority figures, or dealing with authority figures in group situations, say in school settings or, you know, work, bosses and so forth. So there's something coming up with this week where there's some kind of change. You do need to sort of step more into your inner strength and your courage, and sort of, I'm getting like, avoid getting stuck in indecision. If you really can't decide on something this week, you know, maybe give it a bit more time. But with Mercury going direct this week from the 4th, after the 4th, you should feel a bit clearer about this situation here, earth signs. All right, so let's go on to lastly the fire signs. Okay, so Aries, Sagittarius and Leo. Cancer. Okay, Sun in Cancer, it says focus on your home and love. You have the star, beautiful. Aquarius. So maybe some of you, the Aquarius new moon could fall in the 4th house for you, or there's something to do with home and family this week potentially. Let's look at the other card that wants to come through. Fire signs. Infinite abundance. Okay, so if you've been worried about money or preoccupied about money, this is saying don't worry so much, because you're putting negative energy or negative thoughts into this. There is abundance coming in. There's abundance coming into your home life. There's more money coming in soon, fire signs. I'm getting, if you've been worried about that, you don't really need to worry as much. And there's really positive energy coming to your home, like home life this week. That's what I'm getting here. 12th house of retreat, Neptune. Wow, very spiritual energy here. You may be feeling very intuitive this week, fire signs. Virgo is about working from home. With the Cancer energy, you could be working from home. Analyzing things to do with your life in a really deep way. With the Neptune, the 12th house, this is like really deep kind of existential thoughts about, you know, your soul, about your life. You know, Cancer is about your soul group, about your soul tribe. There's also something about, you could be a bit lucky with something financially this week with the star and the abundance card. You could be lucky to do with something with home life this week, like some kind of liberation type energy, potentially like a break from something, or having a bit more rest, or being able to rest or relax a little bit more. The Virgo energy is like, could be about organizing things or having to get organized with something that's very practical as well this week. Trying to find the balance between your spiritual needs and your practical life. But I like the feeling of abundance coming through. I mean, it says infinite abundance, and it says abundance is pouring into your life. So I am getting this is something to do with home or family specifically. There could be something to do with support that comes a little bit out of nowhere with the star card, but it's something very helpful to you. All right, guys, so that was the reading this week. I hope that you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week, everyone. Bye.